What's up, everybody? Jake Chapman here with you, Chrissy Birdsall as well, and we are getting set for a Sunday afternoon showdown with the Detroit Pistons, top team in the Eastern Conference, and this is Magic Game Day. Welcome in. Broadcast will be airing on 96.9 The Game tonight. It's going to be a 6 o'clock start. We'll have the pregame for you at 5:30. As always, you can stream us in the Central Florida area on the iHeartRadio app, the Orlando Magic app, or outside of the listening area on Sirius XM and on NBA League Pass audio as well. About 44 minutes of really good basketball on Thursday night against the Houston Rockets. And then those four at the end of the third quarter ultimately told the story. The Magic were up by 19 points with about 5 minutes remaining in the third. KD, Reed Shepherd got loose, and the Magic basically had the bottom fall out. And those type of things are going to happen, especially against Hall of Famers like Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. But certainly a very frustrating game. It felt like out of the All-Star break, Chrissy, you sort of took 2 steps forward and then 1 step back on Thursday night. I think when you have a game like that, a disappointing outcome, and granted it was the first game back after a 4-game road trip through the Western Conference, you sort of felt like that might happen. Maybe fatigue would catch up with you at some point. It certainly did. To me, playing the Washington Wizards today, that would be a sort of a setup for disaster, because as soon as you lose a game like that, you want to get back out there immediately, and you want the competition to be somebody who tests you a little bit. And that's not to say the Wizards won't test us come Tuesday, but when you have the bottom drop out like it did against the Rockets, you want to play a team of that caliber as quickly as possible. And so I think we probably will have a refreshed, at the very least refocused, and ready to swing back out of that corner type of group today. And you need to have that mentality when you play the Detroit Pistons, because if you don't, they will embarrass you. Frustrating night on Thursday, but it may be exactly what we needed in order to lock in for this game here today.
Yeah, one thing you've told me since the beginning of the season is when you go on those longer road trips, that first game back almost feels like that 5th road trip game. And when the Magic came back, they started off really well. They got themselves up. You mentioned that 19-point lead in the beginning of the third quarter, and then things started to fall apart. There was a lot of turnovers, a lot of transition buckets. Houston was able to get going. Reed Shepherd was able to get hot. And that's one of those games you're going to look back on April 13th, no matter what your seed is, whether you're out of the play-in spot or you're the top in the play-in spot, and you're going to say, man, I wish I had that one back. And the players after the game, they all said that. They said they felt like they let the game slip away from them. It's one of those games that, you wish you could take back, but now you got to look ahead to tonight's game. You got 2 days off, which is a little bit of nice rest before a very busy March, as we'll get into that in a few minutes. You play a very strong team, the Detroit Pistons, a series you're 1-1, a chance to take the lead heading against them, and this is a big game. This is a big game. You heard Jamal Mosley say yesterday in the pregame press conference that this is a team that's ready to make a statement against one of the best teams in the East, and this is a really good opportunity to get themselves back on track, but also get a big win over a good team.
It's a Pistons team that is 44-14. They're 30 games clear of 500, and I think a lot of people, especially after last year, thought the Pistons would be, a team sort of in the mix with us in the Eastern Conference, some of the young teams kind of on the rise. I don't know if anybody expected the Pistons to be this dominant. Cade Cunningham is a legit MVP candidate. They've been able to stay afloat without Isaiah Stewart, who's their big frontline defender coming off the bench. He's suspended. He'll come back. He's suspended for today, and then he'll be back on Tuesday against Cleveland, or is that this is the last game he's suspended, right?
This should be his
I think you're right.
yeah.
I think he's good to go on Tuesday against the Cavaliers, but they won't have him today. And still, it hadn't really impacted the Detroit Pistons. This is a team that has an identity, to be sure. It is sort of reflective of Detroit's identity. It's sort of a nod to the bad boys and to those going to work teams, as they were referred to in the mid-aughts with Ben, Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, all of those guys. This is a tough bunch of players, the Detroit Pistons, and a tough group. And we haven't seen them in 2 months. We already played them twice, as you mentioned, Chrissy, a 1-1 split. You go back to the very beginning of the season, a game at Little Caesars Arena where Cade Cunningham just sort of had his way, and they were able to separate late. That was, I believe, the last week of October.
Yep.
A month later, right around Thanksgiving, Black Friday, the day right after, you were able to sort of flip the script. And both of those games were very physical and absolute wars. But you executed late down the stretch. Anthony Black, a big game-saving block on a Duncan Robinson three-pointer back on Black Friday. And you're one of the teams that handed them one of their 14 losses over the course of the season. The Magic, I think, match up well. The Pistons bully teams. They're big. They're tough. They defend the basket very well. They rebound. They get steal. They lead the league in blocks and steals. So everything is sort of hung on the defensive end. But if you've got functional, versatile size, and if you've got some rugged cats and you're ready to go toe-to-toe with this group, that's really the only way, I think, to end up on the plus side when all is said and done against the Detroit Pistons. That's something that I think we have. Obviously, you'd feel a lot better if you had Franz Wagner on the floor, another sort of piece of that functional size to go against this group. But with that said, I think we've seen that the Magic at their best are more than capable of beating the Detroit Pistons. And this is going to be one of those games that sort of test your mettle. We don't know if we'll have Anthony Black. He went on the injury report dealing with a quad contusion. So that'll be a big loss. He's played every game all season long. If he needs a day off, that's fine. But with that said, you're hoping, I think, to find some stability coming up soon with Franz Wagner getting back into the rotation and hopefully Jalen being back to stay. Not a great team to be making changes as far as the starting lineup goes against, but I think the Pistons know, and I think the Magic do too. It's a pretty good matchup for both teams. The Pistons are a good matchup for anybody right now, but I think the bottom line is, at the very least, that physically we won't be intimidated by this team. And several teams across the league, I think, they've almost already lost when they play the Detroit Pistons because they know they can't go toe-to-toe with those guys.
Yeah, I think you mentioned both of these teams very physical coming into the game. And I think back to that game on Black Friday that I remember was listening to JB Bickerstaff, his comments after that game earlier to prepare for tonight's one. And he was saying that there was no game flow because they were blowing the whistle so much.
Right.
Because both of these teams are just so physical with one another. They weren't really able to establish any type of game flow. And that was a game, it had that playoff feel to it. Remember, it was an NBA Cup game. The Magic were trying to clinch their position. I think Detroit was in the mix as well. And it had that feel that, okay, there were some added stakes to the game. You had all of your players, as many as you can at least. And it was one of those really tough battles that the Magic were able to come out on the other side about. But that puts a chip on Detroit's shoulders coming in to the Kia Center tonight. Cade Cunningham, after that game, we talk about rebounds. That was the big thing. And you think about what happened against Houston on Thursday, where rebounding was maybe a little bit of an issue down the stretch for the Magic. Well, this is a very good rebounding team in Detroit as well. And they felt like they got out-rebounded in that game back in November. Cade Cunningham saying that, it's one of those things that stings when your identity gets a little bit overshadowed and they're going to come in. He said, we're going to be better. And I think that's going to be something to keep an eye on tonight, is just who can dominate on the glass, get a little bit of that control in the paint, because these are two very physical teams, two big teams, strong teams, and they're going to want to establish themselves, work inside out, something we talk about with the Magic all season long.
Yeah, it's a good point. They're the third best rebounding percentage team in the league. We're 10th, so it's not like we're a bunch of scrubs in that regard. They dominate, though, the offensive glass. They're a team that does not shoot a whole bunch of threes. It's not their bread and butter, period. They don't shoot a whole bunch. They don't make a bunch. They're 22nd in three-point percentage. It's just not. They got Duncan Robinson. He's like their designated three-point shooter. Cade's really good. Cade's good at just about everything. But percentage-wise, that's not where his strength lies. And then, as I mentioned, you're talking Jalen Duren. You're talking Isaiah Stewart when he's in there. Paul Reed, Wekiva native, Wekiva High School native, a Popka native. B-Ball Paul has been playing in place of Isaiah Stewart. And then they've got some other guys like Ronald Holland off the bench. They got a bunch of tryhards, basically, but they don't have a bunch of sharpshooters. They brought in Kevin Herter. He can't even get on the floor right now because JB Bickerstaff needs you to defend first and foremost. Sounds kind of familiar. JB and Coach Mosley definitely both cut from the same cloth, and they're both very, very close personal friends as well. The offensive rebounds, though, as you mentioned, a huge key against his team. Jalen Duren, who is first-time All-Star this season, is just having an incredible year. He is one of the best offensive rebounding players in the league, fifth in the league in total rebounds, averages just under 4 a night. That's sixth in the league. So keeping Jalen Duren off the glass, you're going to try to force this Detroit team into perimeter shots, much like the Orlando Magic. If the paint points go up through, touching close to 60 paint points tonight, you're in trouble against this Detroit team. If you turn the ball over a lot against them and let them get out and run, you're in trouble against this Detroit team. So you need to defend. You need to force some misses, preferably sub 50% from the field, and then you got to clean up the defensive glass, close out those possessions. That was the problem against the Phoenix Suns out on the road trip. It was a problem the other night against the Houston Rockets as well. Although, as I mentioned, the big problem the other night against the Houston Rockets was a 3-minute stretch where I don't know if I've ever seen, and I know I keep using this phrase, the bottom drop out quite like we did the other night. You just looked up, and it was a 16-0 run in 3 minutes. It's actually kind of impressive. I've never seen anything go that sideways that rapidly. And you got to give the Rockets a lot of credit, but like for that to happen that quickly, it's almost like what just happened. Like you blinked and all of a sudden a 21-point lead or a 19-point lead had evaporated, a 21-2 run. That was mind-blowing. If you play most of today the way you played against the Houston Rockets, then I think you'll be feeling pretty good about yourself. You just got to avoid that one little terrible stretch.
Yeah, it almost felt like there was like a trap door somewhere in the Kia Center. That was the motion I was just making before. And yeah, I think the best way to describe it is the floor fell out under them. There was turnovers, easy transition baskets. KD started getting going. He finished with 40 points. Talking about Reed Shepherd, he had a couple of huge big threes down the stretch to seal that game, but really it was that third quarter where he started to get going for this team.
He killed us.
Yeah, and that was the thing, was he allowed himself to get going. I know Coach Mosley said that after the game, was that because of the turnovers, because of the transition plays, they allowed players like Reed Shepherd to get going. And when you have guys that are streaky shooters and they get on that hot streak, then they're just going to carry it through the rest of the game. And that's what happened in that Houston game, was Reed Shepherd got going, and then when the game tightened up, he was still hot and they gave it to him. He had a couple of big threes, including that bomb one with 22 seconds left, and that just basically just about sealed it.
Going back to that Black Friday win against, first off, real quick, Reed Shepherd, there were Reed Shepherd fans in the building, and they're Kentucky fans, but like Kentucky fans are just on another level. Like Reed Shepherd is the fourth best Kentucky guard to come out in the last 5 or 6 years. Like every year they have a lottery pick basically in the draft, especially before when John Calipari was there. Kentucky guards litter this league, and yet there were several people in the building the other night that were here just to see Reed Shepherd. I could tell because in the fourth quarter, they weren't cheering for Kevin Durant baskets. They were only cheering for Reed Shepherd baskets, and I looked down and I saw a guy with who was cheering, and he had a Kentucky hat on, so I put 2 and 2 together. That's a different fan base. Big Blue Nation, those guys are on one, and so Reed Shepherd played very well. It felt like there were Rockets fans in the building. I think they were just Kentucky fans, a.k.a. Reed Shepherd fans. Let's go back to that Black Friday win. It was 112-109 as the Magic. It was game number 20 on the season. Desmond Bane that night scored 37 points and did not make a three. If he does anything remotely close, combine that, he was 11 of 12 at the free throw line, 13 of 25 from the field in that game. Had a couple blocked shots. He did a lot of things very well, and obviously tied his season high here with the Magic with his 37 points. Can we combine that Dez with the Dez who is 28 of his last 49 from three-point range, made another 6 threes in the loss on Thursday against the Rockets? He could get 60 if we could combine those two Desmond Banes. I don't know if anybody gets 60 against the Detroit Pistons, but very anxious to see Dez in a game like this. Right, I mean, part of the reason Desmond Bane is here is to add a little nasty when you're playing teams like the Detroit Pistons. If he can get rolling, attacking the cup like he did back on Black Friday and knock down a couple threes, I think that's obviously a matchup that you want to lock in on. Be interesting to see how Detroit deploys their defensive backcourt, because this Desmond Bane is on another level as opposed to that Desmond Bane, and that Desmond Bane was pretty damn good too.
Yeah, there's been a lot of growth in Bane from when he first came to Orlando, and you heard him talk about it in the last couple of games against Houston after that post game. He said that when he first came in, he was still adjusting to the team, he's still adjusting to the lineup, he's still adjusting to the players. Obviously, with the rotations being out of whack, with all the injuries going on, he's been the one consistent on this team where he's played most, if not all, of the games this year. And then you're starting to see him improve and get a little bit more comfortable with himself as well as the players around him. I mean, you look at his February stats, over 20 points per game, 4 and 4 in rebounds and assists. He's shooting almost 50% from the floor, almost 40% from three. He has been playing spectacular lately, and I feel like in November, that's when we started to see those glimpses. I think you go all the way back to that Portland game in the beginning of November where he hit the game winner. Okay, he started to settle in a little bit more. Those 2 cup games against Philadelphia and Detroit, you saw it a little bit. Then it took a little bit to get back to that, and then now February, we're seeing this whole new Desmond Bane, the Bane that we traded 4 picks for, and that's what this team wants to come away with a win against Detroit. You got to get that Desmond Bane again tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I mentioned keeping an eye on how the Pistons deploy their defensive backcourt. The matchups on the other side are going to be interesting as well. Anthony Black typically is drawing Cade Cunningham. He's a guy with the length that you want to try to stay in front of Cade. The problem is Cade's 6'6", but he's also 220. So he can go around you, or he can go through you, or he can go over you. So if you don't have AB tonight, and again, we're not positive, he's listed as questionable on the injury report, cropped up early this morning, a quad contusion bugging AB. You got Desmond Bane. He might be a little bit more stout than you want as far as defending Cade, but I think certainly he's going to see his opportunities there. And then, of course, Jalen, if hopefully – we'll see. Jalen started or came off the bench for the first time the other day since the 2022-23 season, and he didn't really look very comfortable doing it. Only played 13 minutes in that game. If AB can't go, is Jalen in the starting lineup, or do you do something else? Do you have Javon Carter make a start in, game number 6 here in Central Florida? Look, I was crunching numbers and looking around. That group, when the bottom fell out the other day, and we don't want to single anybody out, so we don't need to go through the 5 players on the floor. But I just looked. Those 5 players who were on the floor late third quarter against Houston on Thursday night, that was the first time they'd been on the floor together all season long. Those 5 guys played 5 minutes together all season long. And that, to me, has nothing to do with finding set rotations. It has to do with the fact that guys have not been available for too much of the season. And Coach Mosley's just been juggling rotations all year long because each morning he wakes up and says, who's unavailable today? And so that's the really frustrating part is you've got guys, and it's not like you're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. You've got guys who just have not been available enough, and you just still, at this point of the year, as we head into the month of March, you still don't have set rotations because you still don't know who's going to be available night in and night out, and that will continue here today. You've got AB added to the injury report as questionable. Don't know if you've got Jalen for a full docket of minutes or if you're going to have to cap those at some point. Still don't know exactly if Mo Wagner's minutes are capped in any way. And as you mentioned, heading into the month of March, give me the quick breakdown here before we head down to Coach Mosley. What's our schedule look like here in the month of March? It's a whole bunch of basketball, is it not?
Yep, 17 games, 10 of them at home, and 4 back-to-backs.
Bring for your group, what are the keys to getting off a good start against them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously number 2 defense in the league. Their ability to turn you over, disrupt your shots, they're physical. We have to make sure we take care of the basketball, keep them off the offensive glass, and get our on time, on target passes, but getting out early in transition not to go against their half court sets.
Just announced that Anthony Black is out tonight. Just how did that right quad condition come up?
I mean, he's been dealing with that for quite some time. He's been getting bumped and hit quite a bit. And I think last game was one where it took its toll.
Impact your rotations, your lineups, starting all that.
It impacts it very, very heavily. But again, for our group, we always talk about next man up mentality. Whoever gets those minutes and that nod is going to be ready to play when they step on the floor.
With AB out and Franz already out, does that put more of the defensive load on Suggs and Paolo when it comes to the Cade Cunningham matchup? And does it change how you game plan slowing him down?
It changes some things, but it's on everybody. A guy like Cade who's having an MVP type year, I think he's, to me, the front runner in that regard. You're not going to do it with just 1 or 2 guys. It's got to be a 5-man job every time he's on the floor. You've got to mix the coverages up. He's so smart. He understands what he's seeing out there. He gets his teammates involved the right way. And so I just think you got to do it with multiple guys, being able to sit down and guard. But he's got to see a crowd all night long.
You mentioned the turnovers and how important that is to kind of getting the offense going and not having to face this defense in the half court. Their ability to force turnovers has been up a little bit over the last few weeks. Has that been an emphasis to dig in and get some more of those? And how vital is that or how vital of a sign is that the defense has kind of found its footing?
It's found a little bit of a groove. I think our guys know that when we sit down and guard one-on-one and we're sitting in gaps, and guys try to attack those gaps, we got to continue to do a better job of getting there early and do it without fouling. I think that's the biggest key for us right now, having our bodies in gaps and being able to get deflections on the ball with ball pressure, more than we're trying to gamble and go for steals.
Coach, you've talked about the month of March being a sprint. Now that we are at this juncture, do you feel that the team is mentally prepared for the challenge?
Yes.
Coach, now that you don't have AB tonight, you've had Javon now for a few weeks. How do you kind of work these lineups in with him and try to be more experimental? Does AB being out give you more of a freedom to kind of explore some lineups that you may not have been able to in the last couple games?
Yeah, guys are going to play that are ready to play when they step on the floor, and I think that's going to be shown when we have times for practice. And then when you get a couple minutes in the game, what do you do with those minutes? And I think it's the defensive side of the floor first. And if you understand your assignments, you understand how we're trying to play, you understand the game plan, those are going to be big keys. I mean, Javon has already proven what he's able to do. So being able to get more minutes at times is going to be key for us. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, there he is, Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. Official confirmation, Anthony Black out today. He'll miss his first game of the season. AB 58 games played, and you heard Coach Mosley mention that it's a quad contusion that's been bugging him for some time. And remember, I think it was the second half of the game the other night against Houston. You could tell at one point during a dead ball that something was absolutely bugging AB. I think he actually headed back to the locker room, came back, and finished the game, if I recall. But Anthony Black has, I believe, already eclipsed the number of total minutes played. If not, he's right there all last season. And so, obviously, he's grown into a much bigger role in the starting lineup so far this year, playing in crunch time, and he's been an indispensable part of this team over the course of the season, but wearing down just a little bit, so hopefully he's able to rest up a bit, get that quad right. And, oh, by the way, got to make sure we give a quick shout-out to Anthony Black, named last night the Helen and Rich DeVos Community Enrichment Award winner at the Orlando Magic Wine Classic, or whatever the latest title of that is. But big shout-out to AB and all the work he has done here in the Central Florida community. So, Coach Mosley did mention a couple, I think, useful things. And by the way, Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall here with you. We're up on the radio deck, and we're getting you set for the Magic and the Detroit Pistons, matchup number 3 against the Pistons this season. We'll see them once more. They'll come back in April. I think it's like game number 79, like the third or fourth last game of the season. And what could that game mean, especially potentially if the season series is on the line, et cetera, et cetera. Pistons come in 44-14 on the year. And without Anthony Black in the starting lineup, I think you're going to have a couple different guys get an opportunity on Cade Cunningham. And, of course, Coach Mosley saying it's on everyone. You need 5 guys defending that guy. He did say he's the MVP frontrunner, which is probably a little shout-out to his buddy J.B. Bickerstaff, although it's hard to argue. He said defending without fouling, huge key. He said guys who step on the floor better be ready to play. And I think coming down the stretch here, like, it's March. It is a sprint to the postseason. Magic in a postseason chase right now, trying to avoid that play-in scenario in the Eastern Conference. There's not much time to ease your way into the game or the season right now. And so as you look down the bench, I think your top 6 or 7 guys, you have an idea. But some of the young, sort of unproven guys, and I'm not going to mention any names specifically, but the rookies, second-year, third-year guys who are getting opportunities here, if Coach Mosley senses that you don't got it, especially on the defensive side of the ball, it's quick hook season, right? Because you don't have time to let guys sort of adjust and, who's my matchup, who am I checking, what are their tendencies? Like this time of year, there's no excuses, and there is a level of expectation that I think the coaching staff is probably done kind of overlooking missed assignments and things like that. If you screw up early in the game, you probably ain't going to be playing late in the game.
No, not at all. And I've talked about Anthony Black being out. For anybody who is just joining in, Anthony Black is out with a right quad contusion. He was listed as questionable earlier in the day. One of two players that has played in 58 games up until this year, so has played in every game. This will be his first game out. And one thing Mosley said is that it's going to take its toll on the rotations, because we talked about, this is a team that we still don't know a lot about because of the injuries and how much Mosley's had to adjust with players coming in, players coming out. Now you got a guy like Javon Carter who's getting adjusted to this team as he's warming up on the floor right now. Jalen Suggs is coming back from an injury, so we'll have to see what that starting lineup looks like. But then coming off of the bench, okay, how are these guys, the ones that are getting thrusted into these starting lineups, adjusting? But then off of the bench as well, who's going to step up? Having Mo Wagner back has been a huge help, at least on the offensive end on the floor. Javon Carter has been a huge step on both ends of the floor in the 6 games that he's played for Orlando. I went back and I looked at February and what the bench impact has been. Even though the offensive rating is still a little bit low, 21st, you think about a lot of these guys who are playing in that starting role coming in, and usually guys that would be coming off of the bench like AB, like Tristan. You'll see a couple other guys as well, but they're 11th in defensive rating, and you talked about it. Mosley, one thing that he cares more than anything is you got to get your defense set. If you're missing an assignment or somebody's blowing right past you, it doesn't really matter what you're doing on the offense. That defense is so important. But Detroit, another team that's really good off of the bench as well. So this is a team where Orlando is going to be having some depth issues coming in, with Franz being out, with AB coming out, but guys have to step up into their roles and play better than the level that they're expected to try and take down this Detroit team.
Yeah, Pistons, as we mentioned, good rebounding team, really good defensive team. They lead the league in steals and blocks per game, the counting stats, and they do so without being a very high possession team. They're not a very noteworthy team as far as pace goes. They're 16th in the league. We're 19th, so two kind of middle of the pack teams in that regard. They do turn you over. They do get into the paint and score from there. Cunningham is one of these guys at 6'6" who, and with long arms, he can shoot over you, he can get around you, and he can go through you. And, kind of like Luka, he'll put his back right into you, and he'll just pick apart your defense, 3 or 4, sort of power dribbles, just scanning the floor, and he'll pass right over you. So you obviously need a couple sets of eyes on that guy when you're defending him, and it's going to be a team-wide matchup, as we mentioned, as Coach Mosley mentioned, defending that guy. But it's a Detroit team that will test you and then will stretch you in every possible way. And so, if you're not strapped up and ready to go, this team can absolutely come in and embarrass you. The Pistons are just about as good away from Little Caesars Arena as they are at home. 23-7 home record and 20-7 out on the road. So a team that travels well, and we always say, if you're physical and if you can defend, you're going to be in every game. This Pistons team turns you over, and that's a huge, huge key tonight. Got to protect the basketball against this Pistons team. You can't give them anything easy because they do struggle offensively. They don't shoot a ton of threes, and they don't have a great three-point shooting attack. And so you don't want to make it easy on them. Once you start coughing the ball up, letting them get out and run, and it sounds a lot like us, and get easy buckets in transition, that basically you're setting yourself up for disaster against this Detroit team.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of eyes on Cade Cunningham, but one guy to not keep an eye on as well, somebody that they need to keep an eye on, Jalen Duren has been playing incredible the last couple of weeks. I saw Will Dawson saying that he's been playing scary good. In the month of February, he's averaging 21, 22, and 11, and he's shooting nearly 63% from the floor. I mean, he's the second best player on this team in terms of the offensive output that he's put in, but he's been playing really well, leading the team in scoring in the last 5 games. And that's the thing, when you have all your eyes on Cade Cunningham, somebody else is going to step up, and it's been Duren the last couple of games as well.
Yeah, he's there's 2 players in the league averaging 18 points, 10 rebounds, and shooting better than 60% from the floor. Him and Giannis, and that's about as good as it gets. Good company. This guy's 22 years old. Coach Mosley coached him on the U.S. Select team. He's an absolute stud and only getting better. And to be that young and be that good, like we see young great players. You can be 19 or 20 years old and be gifted offensively. This guy is a young great man. He does all of the hard hat stuff. you're typically not 22 years old and bullying guys on the block who are 8 years older than you in this league. And so he does all of the rugged stuff better than just about anybody else. And to be 22 years old, still growing into your body and still, 6 years away from your physical prime, rest of the league, take note. This dude's going to be a problem for years and years to come. Yep. It's a good call. He has been, he's not necessarily the Robin because he's the dirty work guy, but very well-deserved first All-Star appearance this season for Jalen Duren. And the numbers just through the roof. 5th in the league in double-doubles, great offensive rebounder, and 2nd in the league in dunks as well. So even if you think you're doing a good job, he'll throw down a dunk that'll harm your soul. All right, this is going to be a good one here today. The Magic trying to get back on the right foot, still banged up, still juggling things around as far as the starting lineup goes, still getting looks at guys and experimenting as far as the rotation goes, which can be frustrating in the month of March, but that's what happens when you have already missed 122 games due to injury and counting, as we just found out a couple minutes ago that Anthony Black won't be available tonight for the first time this season. See what the starting lineup looks like. We do have Jalen Suggs available. Javon Carter has been an absolute godsend in the backcourt. He may need to play heavy minutes tonight, but the Pistons are coming to town, and so at the very least, we know we'll have everybody's attention. She's Chrissy. I'm Jake. It's the radio broadcast coming your way at 5:30, 96.9 The Game. You can stream us on the iHeart app, on the Orlando Magic app, or outside of the listening area on Sirius XM or on NBA League Pass audio as well. We're back at it on Tuesday with the Washington Wizards in town. For now, we'll send you down to the floor. Go Magic.
Colombian, Afro-Caribbean honeydew. Whipping out Abels, no condiments. From Barranquilla, no argument. She going hard like a gallo. Don't care what they say, hella fight, no. I'm chilling with babe with my eyes closed. Got the champagne with my blindfolds. I'm on your flight in Miami, chopping and dripping with Moochie the family. Dry tie when I dry down, acting hella savage like I'm Randy. I'm on 1,000, living my life like I don't get no hoots about plan Bs. My life something like a Tahoe, yours something like a Camry, yeah. Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Who said they could top me? Step in the place, I steal the show. Said they had been checking for me, ain't never seen my type before. Love to see me coming, but my haters might just shed a tear. Cause when I put that hammer down, I bet you this whole room clear. Ain't no competition, it's against just me, myself, and I. Checking in the mirror, thinking, how could one chick be so fly? I'm from another dimension. Now that I got your attention, tell me who can do it better. Never the two, never the lesser. Why you all up in my face? What's the deal? Run the city just for fun, cause you know I keep it real. Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Steady elevating, if you want me, send the budget now. Wanna see some commas on my statement, so we cut it now. Shorties from the west, play it close to the vest. Sound off, I wanna hear, say it with your whole chest. Talk behind my back, cause my pretty face is too much. No, you cannot double back, no, you cannot keep in touch. Run your mouth, I run it up, baby, it's a big difference. Shining like the sun, they can't see me, they can't bear witness. Like, why you all up in my face? What's the deal? Run the city just for fun, cause you know I keep it real. Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it.
Welcome to Courtside Countdown, presented by Hard Rock Bet. I'm your host, Kendra Douglas. We got Bo Outlaw here again. I mean, we are just so lucky to have you twice
I
on
don't
this
know if you
show.
want to call that lucky, just a coincidence.
There we go. I love it. I love it. Well, tonight the Magic will be going head-to-head against the #1 team in the East, in the Detroit Pistons. That game's at 6 p.m., and you can catch Dante and the crew. Everyone is back. I'll even be on the show as well.
Nice.
I know, on FanDuel Sports Network, your home for the Orlando Magic, at 5:30 for the pregame show. But we're going to talk a little bit about that Houston game, Bo. We got to? We got just a little bit. Just a little bit. So, yes, by the way, Magic fans, continue to give us your comments, your questions, your concerns heading into tonight's game. I know everyone wants to see this team get back into the win column, but let's talk about this Houston game. So, this was a tough one overall. Now, they fell in this one 113 to 108. Kevin Durant, he just had himself a night. 40 points for him as the Rockets overcame that 19-point deficit in the second half. He scored 26 of his 40 points in the second half. Reed Shepherd also had a great night coming off the bench. Poured in 20 points for the Rockets, including going 5 of 7 from the three-point line. In the beginning, though, this team was pretty much taking over the game. What do you think switched for the Rockets? What do you think they did differently in the second half?
I don't know if they did anything different. It's kind of an old trend that we normally have, but it was a problem in the third quarter. KD, if I'm correct, went off, I think, 16, 17 points in the third alone.
Yeah.
And that was the problem right there. If you have a guy going off for that many points, it's going to give you a chance to win a lot of games because coming out of halftime, a little slow, and he wasn't slow, getting 17 points. And then once he got tired of scoring, Reed Shepherd and stepping up at the end of the game. So they had two guys that, when they needed buckets, got buckets, and we were just a little missing shots here and there, and opportunities. And you can't do that when you have a lead or trying to keep a lead.
Yeah. How important, too, though, I want to look at the numbers right here. You see the final score, the total rebounds. Here's what's interesting. We tell this team to crash the glass. They did just that. They out-rebounded this team. Assists were similar. One thing I think that you could say was different was the turnovers. The Magic turned the ball over just way too many times. You can't win games when you turn the ball over.
So when you turn the ball over, one or two things happen. Either you're losing the shot possession or you're giving up a easy shot possession in transition. So if you say coaches and players, you say live ball turnovers. You can't have those. We had too many of those, like you say, turning the ball over is just unacceptable. But then the free throw line. They took advantage of it, I think 80% for them, 62 and some change plus. So that's also points right there. So if you can eliminate those two categories, we got to win.
Yeah.
But that's what closing games out is about, taking care of the ball in crucial times.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I do want to talk about the positives, though, of that game.
Yes.
Desmond Bane, another great performance from him. In the month of February, he has just continued to show why he should be, part of that Eastern Conference Player of the Month. I genuinely think that if you read, and I'll give a shout out to Josh Cohen, if you read his article, you can see why he should be that. 10th time this season, he's scored 30 plus in a game. I mean, the hot streak that just continues for him. 30 points in that one. The month of February has been great for him. What have you liked about his shot selection? And also now we are seeing him so much more comfortable at the three.
There it is right there. That comfortable, him being comfortable and his aggressiveness. He's being more aggressive when we need him to be. And this is the time of year that you're not expected, but I like it because at the end of the year, you got a guy trending up and playing very well for you. So when you have an off night by somebody else, you know you're going to depend on him to get you 30.
Yeah.
And then if someone else comes on other than Paolo, then you really got a good chance of winning this game.
Yeah,
but,
30 points for him. Go ahead.
So, no, I'm just saying, like 30 points on 63% shooting.
Yeah.
You'll take that all day, every day on any game.
Yeah, I love that about Desmond Bane because the thing is like, this is what we wanted to see from him. And I know we'll continue to say it, but it is hard when, you bring in a guy early and he's part of the rotation early on, and then you're not seeing it. But I think this is all going to be a process, and we're seeing that with this team.
Yeah, people were saying, why is he doing this early in the year? Because he's a smart guy. He was coming in trying to fit in rather than just step in and take over. He didn't want to take over. He wanted to be a part of this team. Let the guys do what they're doing, and I can just ease my way into the rotation and do things. But then when guys start getting hurt, when we start missing a guy too, then you see the potential he had of being that guy to score points. And he's like, how can I do this with everybody in place? It's not as easy as people think. So TV land out there, just to come in and score like that, it's not that easy without stepping on someone's toes, and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, real quick before we get to Javon Carter, because I want to talk about his performance. He knocked down some big shots for this team. A lot of people are asking, I hear AB is out. Why? He has a quad contusion. Coach Mosley talked a little bit about it from the pregame presser, just saying he's been battling, and so now it just made sense for him to kind of, for the Magic and the training staff to tell him to sit this game out. He won last night at the
the Rich and Ellen DeVos Award.
The Rich and Ellen DeVos Award. He was able to accept that, which if you've been around there too, you've been helping him out or been there to give some of these awards away to people who really deserve it in the community. What can you say just about how much he's grown as a player, but also someone who now is giving back to the community?
I think it all goes hand in hand. He's getting better on the court, and he's also getting better off the court. So he's like, as much as I'm doing on the court and the people support me, I'm going to go support the people. And it's a you help me, I help you situation. And he's just trying to do the best he can and still be a professional on the court. And he's doing a great job of it.
He sure is. And we have video from the Orlando Wine Auction and Festival. Orlando Wine Festival and Auction. There's a lot going on. Either way.
The Wine Festival, Orlando
Wine Festival. We have video from that night, just happened last night. Let's check it out.
Here we are at our 6th annual now, hard to believe, Orlando Magic Wine Festival and Auction to benefit the Orlando Magic Youth Foundation. It's an event that has really grown over those 6 years and has gotten a lot of momentum and has really given us the ability to raise more money than we ever have, in the past for at-risk children in Central Florida, which is what we're here to do. Last year we raised an all-time record of $2 million. Hopefully this year we can get close. It really is a weekend-long event that started on Friday evening with our vintner dinners. Saturday we have an incredible festival with all the chefs, that are participating this year and all the wineries that are participating. We spend the afternoon, outside here at the Four Seasons Resort, and then we'll move inside to the ballroom for really the main event.
The Rich and Helen DeVos Community Enrichment Award was created to honor players who have dedicated their efforts off the court for the purpose of enhancing lives of others. We're looking for players with good moral character and people who have that commitment to be good teammates and good community members and those who are able to use their talents in many different ways. For more than 3 decades now, this award has been recognizing individuals who understand that being part of this organization carries a responsibility that's bigger than just basketball. The recipient of the award, Anthony Black.
It's what my family's always been about, is just helping people out, helping, the next man out, whether that's just a friend or somebody we don't know. So just continuing it at a bigger level and being able to do a little bit more and actually help people has been really fun for my brother, my mom, myself, and just everybody involved.
It's difficult to win it because our guys are so involved in the community. And we don't have to push them to do it. I mean, they come to us and they say, I want to do this at the holidays, or I want to do that at Thanksgiving. Our guys are so great about it and have been over the years.
Just the last year, feeling more settled in and kind of knowing the ins and outs and what I'm doing. It just inclines me to do stuff to give back, because I know it's a lot of people in the community that invest in me, my teammates, and, the Magic. So I feel like it's kind of our job to give back in a way.
It started with Rich DeVos. He always told our players that it's the organization's responsibility to give back, to make our community better.
Welcome back inside the Kia Center with Savage Says. Kendra Douglas, you're watching Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. You just watched highlights from the Orlando Wine Festival, and it's such a cool event. You were there yesterday, and it's just a great opportunity to give back, but also just, seeing the players there, they enjoy it too.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for people, the community, to come together. A lot of the businesses, donors to the Magic's community efforts, all coming together and interacting and having a good time for a good cause. So a very fun evening was had by all, and at the same time, a lot of money was raised directly to at-risk youth in Central Florida. So great to see, and great to see a Magic player, as it is every year, rewarded for their hard work. And Anthony Black, amongst others, has put in a tremendous amount of work on the court and off the court this season. So to see him honored for that and be in the long line of Magic players who've won that award was pretty cool.
It sure is. And though Anthony Black will not be playing tonight due to the quad contusion, there's a couple people who are in the chat. They're asking about AB, and he's doing well. He's healthy. I imagine he'll be back very soon. But tonight, just training staff wanting to continue to monitor him. The other news that I think we can talk about too is everyone is talking about a new look of Jalen Suggs. I, too, was very surprised about the new look we saw of Jalen Suggs. But, hey, we're rocking it.
Yeah, clean-shaved head. And if you were paying close attention, you may have seen him warm up if you were tuned in early to this show and stream. And on the same side, if you were watching the wine auction recap, you would notice that it wasn't clean-shaven last night. So sometime between last night and today's game, he went with a clean-shaven look, and I think it looks good on him.
Yes, we love it. Hopefully that's going to give him some energy to go off tonight. But before we talk about this Detroit team, Bo and I were talking about some of the guys who had some good moments in that Houston game, one of them being Javon Carter. He's been such a great asset for this team since they brought him in, and 14 points in that loss. But in the West Coast trip, he had 2 straight games of scoring in double figures. He's seen more minutes with the Magic than he has all season in other teams. And he shot 44% from the three-point line in that last game. What does a guy like Javon Carter kind of bring when he comes off the bench?
Yeah, what I'm glad about is, one, I think he has the right demeanor for this Magic team, all business, and really making an impact on the defensive end of the floor. But in order for a guy to gain a voice like that, they really have to be playing on the court and playing at least decently well. And so once Javon was able to accomplish that, prove to his new teammates that he knows what he's doing on the court, it's allowed him to really establish his voice in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I thought he pulled no punches after the loss to Houston, calling it unacceptable, saying we need to be better playing with leads. And that's the type of mindset that this locker room needs amongst players with such a young group. So I look for this team to respond tonight. They've been good with that all year, as Desmond Bane said. But Javon Carter's personality really adds another veteran touch that any young team would be glad to have.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. Some of the comments we're getting is manifesting a Magic win to start the month of March. That was so many M's, and I agree with you, Shalisa. I am manifesting a Magic win to start the month of March. Coach Mosley talked in the pregame that it is a sprint now, and he trusts his team to do that sprint to get to a better standing within the playoffs. And then another comment is, let's cool down the Pistons.
I like that.
This is a team that's coming off an insane win against Cleveland in overtime. I watched that game. It was really, really good for them. But still, this Magic squad still has so much that they can do, and they spoke about how they want to attack this game today. Let's listen to what they had to say.
Yeah, I think what our focus was today was just tightening back up on the details of things, understanding our defense of what we're going to need to do against a team like Detroit. Some similarities to Houston, but our ability to guard one-on-one, rebounding, protecting the paint versus these guys, that's got to be key for us. And then offensively, just continuing to play with pace against physicality, making sure we're taking care of the basketball, and just on-time, on-target passes, things like that, just our fundamentals in the game.
Executing the plays the right way, fixing up, cleaning up the defense a little bit more, and just, communicating and playing together. That's about it.
What was your takeaway as you reviewed the film from the other night against Houston?
I mean, we had it until the third quarter, so limited mistakes, focus all the way through the game. I feel like it was preventable. And now we know what not to do.
We'll welcome you back inside the Kia Center for Courtside Countdown, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Kendra Douglas Savage says, someone just said, I'm glad you guys like my comments. Yes, keep the comments coming, everybody. This is a show for you. We want to continue to connect and talk with you all, so keep the comments coming. That's what we love it. And so, ooh. Okay, I like this one. Dylan says, Suggs is following D. White's footsteps. Here comes Defensive Player of the Year.
I like that. And, shortly after that for Derek White, won an NBA championship.
Yeah.
So let's manifest the same thing for Jalen Suggs.
I love that.
Here
I
in
love
Orlando.
that energy. I love that energy. All right, let's talk about this Pistons team, too, because like I mentioned, this is a team that's coming off a crazy win, but they've just been doing well so far this season in general. JB Bickerstaff has truly found the key for this team and figured out what they needed to do. The head of that snake is Cade Cunningham, though, and the way he's been able to perform all season. You can see tonight's matchup, just how they match up against each other. This is always a good game, though. These two teams are gritty. JB Bickerstaff, Coach Mosley, they're best friends. They clearly train their guys to have that gritty defensive mindset. But yes, it is Cade Cunningham that definitely is kind of the head of this. But I want to talk about the last time that they met.
Yes.
Which was the group play of the NBA Cup. Another great performance for this team. This is the last time in Detroit. The Magic won this one. You got to look at Desmond Bane because he's the one that helped them get this win. But still, I mean, you look at the numbers right there. Detroit out-rebounding this team as well. Definitely going to be a different kind of game, but that was a good one.
Yeah, emotional one with high stakes on the line with the NBA Cup. Advancement, securing their place in group play, and the Magic really showed a lot in that one. They showed their resiliency. They're willing to go blow for blow with the Pistons, and that's why I think this Magic team has full belief that they could hang with any team in the NBA because they went into the Pistons court. We're the best team in the league right now, have the NBA's best record, and the Magic got to win under those high-stakes circumstances. So that's what has given them confidence over the course of the season. And I expect them to double down on that and try to have another good game tonight, even though they're down a series of their best defenders.
Yeah, that's very true. The Magic, they forced the Pistons to commit 24 turnovers, which led to 29 points in that November game. Ultimately, that is going to have to be the key for this team, too. It's for the Magic to commit less turnovers and try to force more turnovers on the Pistons.
No, such a huge factor in the game tonight. You look at both these teams. They both rank in the top 5 in points off turnovers. They thrive in that. Neither team is towards the top of the NBA in three-point shooting.
Yeah.
It's not a strength of either squad where you're going, okay, that's the area we have to take away. What you got to take away against both these teams is the paint, limiting mistakes, not allowing them to get in transition, and not allowing them to get to the rim. And that's where the Pistons have been so effective this season, the #1 team in the NBA with points in the paint.
Well, let's talk about a guy who's leading this team, Cade Cunningham, the way he's been able to perform. In that last meeting against the Magic, he led with 39 points. He's the head of the snake for this Pistons squad. He's averaging 25 points per game this season, this season over 5 rebounds, more than 9 assists. He has recorded at least 7 assists in 16 straight games, which is the second longest streak in the NBA this season. So this is a guy that loves to facilitate, get everyone involved, but also can knock down shots for this team.
Yeah, and this is Cade Cunningham's emergence this season as a high-tier player that's going to lead a team to the #1 seed in a conference goes to show that the overreactionary people who like to decide the player's future and outcome really early in their career don't really have any idea what they're talking about, because Cade was looked at a guy, was he overdrafted? Is he ever going to be good enough to be a true #1? And we're seeing here right now, absolutely he is. And that's why you don't have overreactions. Career arcs are not linear. They take ups and downs. Cade's has followed that, and now we're seeing a player who's fully worthy of the #1 pick, and at the same time is leading a team to the top of his conference, filling up the stat sheet in a number of different directions.
Isn't it crazy what a little bit of time has done for Cade Cunningham? I mean, he truly is. And it was interesting, too, because he fouled out in that game against Cleveland the other night, but yet still managed to help his team to a win in some way. It's really interesting to see how well he has performed. And Mosley said it himself. He's having an MVP season so far.
Yeah, no question about it. And he's just so effective at both scoring when necessary and at the same time getting his teammates involved, being top 2 in the NBA in assists. So he is really a true floor general, with a lot of size and can guard a number of different players. So he helps be the linchpin of the versatility of their defense, even though there are other guys who are the anchors on that end of the floor.
Yeah. Some comments saying, do we think this team can still make a deep run in the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. And I think that what I loved about what Coach Mosley said after that Houston game was, look, this was a situation where the team beat themselves up.
Yeah.
And so if they can because they can definitely go against teams like this and make deep runs in the playoffs.
No, look, they've had Houston on the ropes twice, both in Houston and here in Orlando.
Yeah.
They're one of the best in the West. We've seen the Magic get wins over legit teams like the Denver Nuggets and this Detroit Pistons team as well. So they've shown they can hang with the best of them. We've seen them beat the Knicks and give them trouble, who could be a team the Magic face in the playoffs. So they're absolutely capable of a deep run. I think the thing that's been holding them back, unfortunately, has been the injuries to key pieces. They're not just injuries, but Paolo's missed time. Franz has been in and out of the lineup. Jalen's missed time, and AB now missing time as well. So that disrupts the continuity, but there's still time for this Magic team to bond together.
Yeah.
Still time for Franz Wagner to get healthy.
Yeah.
And all those things lead me to believe that when this Magic team gets healthy, they're going to be a team no one wants to play in the postseason.
I completely agree with you on that one, Mr. Savage. Now, I want to continue to talk about this Pistons squad. We talked about Cade Cunningham, and when you talk about Cade, you got to talk about Duren and the way that he's been able to perform so far this season. 4th season in the league for Jalen Duren. He's averaging 12 points per game this season. Here's what I thought was interesting is he ranks 11th in the NBA and 3-point shots made. But what you were mentioning is the points in the paint and how aggressive he is. He's averaging 14 points in the paint per game. That's something you just talked about, how this team does very well in that category. What does he do that just kind of disrupts the way that people are able to handle him?
Yeah, he's an anchor down low and, really takes pride on that end of the floor and was awarded it this season by getting his first NBA All-Star berth as an Eastern Conference reserve. So the league seeing the value in him, does most of his damage around the rim on both ends of the floor, really controls the glass, and I think, sets the tone for this Pistons team defensively.
Yeah, averaging 18.5 points per game this season. So he's finding a way to continue to be aggressive down low. That's going to be a challenge for this Magic squad. We've seen how much him and Cade, they've been a challenge for this team. But it's a good opportunity for this Magic squad to come away with the win tonight.
Yeah, this is a team that you want to make sure you get stops that get out and run, whether that be turnovers or as soon as you get the rebound, getting out and going, because when they have their half-court defense set, they're such a bear to score against. It's so hard to get to the paint. And for a Magic team that wants to attack the rack and thrive in that area, they're going to have to do it while Detroit's defense is off balance.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. I think that leads us straight to your storyline. So, Dan, what do you have for us in your storylines for today?
Yeah, number one, when you're looking at this defensive team that the Pistons are, you want to first off start off by playing defense of your own, and that starts by containing Cade Cunningham. You're not going to stop a guy like that, but you have to show him different looks. You have to cut off his passing ability, get into the passing lanes, and at the same time, take away what he likes to do offensively. Then protect the paint. We know Detroit's going to do that on their end of the floor. They're so effective at it. The Magic have shown in stretches this season that they can be equally effective at protecting the paint. Got to do that tonight against this Piston team. And then lastly, most importantly, limit turnovers.
Yeah.
Do not give this Piston team any free buckets, because they have shown time and time again this season that when you turn the ball over, they'll make you pay. And when you look at the matchup, the Magic won in that NBA Cup outing, it was because they were the team that turned the Pistons over more.
Yeah.
They scored more points off those turnovers, and that was the difference. When you look at the final score, that was the difference in the game.
I want to get to some comments real quick. People saying, today we need a win. And then another one, got my hat on, so hopefully it is lucky tonight. Love that. Someone asks, bald Jalen Suggs or blonde Joe Burrow?
Ooh, geez.
And for you.
That is tough. I mean, blonde Joe Burrow won a high school championship. He was right in the high school championship game.
Yeah.
If bald Jalen Suggs could get the Magic to a championship game,
Hey.
I'll be pretty happy, and I'll lean bald Jalen Suggs.
There we go. I love it. I love it. Before we get out of here, let's take a look at the upcoming games for the Orlando Magic. So this is the second of a 4-game homestand. So the Magic will be taking on the Washington Wizards and then also the Dallas Mavericks in the next coming days before we get on the road to Minnesota. But these are great opportunities, especially against a Washington team that's also a little bit depleted.
Yeah.
And against the Dallas team that's trying to figure it out. They have a young core too. Of course, you got Klay Thompson in the mix, which he's always going to be just Klay Thompson and what he does.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to look at that last
I'm
outing,
not
Kendra,
either.
because you know what it says. It says at Minnesota, and I need this Magic team to capitalize on the homestand ahead of this and come up with some victories. They went 3-1 on the West Coast. They leave this homestand 3-1. I think we could take that as well.
I think so too, and I would love that. I would love nothing more for this Magic squad to get back into the win column, finish out this homestand with some good wins underneath their belt. A lot of people just continuing to say D-Ball 87 says afternoon, need a win here. KR Soul, someone said big game from AB on offense. Hopefully he means another time, because AB will not be playing in tonight's game. Just heads up for those who might just continuing to tune in right now. He is out with a quad contusion, so he will not be in tonight's game. And then Will Dawson said, bald Jalen looking real good. So,
I like it, yeah.
we like that, Will Dawson, because it's true. He's looking great right now, and hopefully he's going to have a great night. I think this Magic team's going to do very well. Before we get out of here, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts tonight are just be the more physical team. As Desmond Bane talked about, as some of the other guys have talked about, every time they get into it, the Pistons, it's a dogfight.
Yeah.
Jet Howard even felt that as well, as he was saying during shoot-around. So what you want to do in a game like this is be the more physical team, set the tone on that end of the floor. The refs tend to reward the more physical team that sets the tone out of the gate. And we know there's going to be free throws in this outing. We know it's going to be physical. There's going to be offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
And so you really have to set the tone right from the jump of how you want to play this game.
I love it. I love it. Well, Magic fans, if you are here at the Kia Center, you're going to see a great performance tonight. I feel it, because anytime they play, these two teams go head-to-head. It's such a all-out battle. So I'm excited for it. But that'll do it for us on Courtside Countdown, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Kendra Douglas Savage says, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you on Sunday. Sunday? No, today's Sunday.
Today is Sunday, Kendra. It's that time of the season. We'll see you Tuesday.
We'll see you Tuesday. We will see you Tuesday when the Magic take on the Washington
There we
Wizards.
go.
I did get that one right. But for now, have a great night, and we'll see you guys later.
Give the people what they want, 'cause